earlier demonstrations of the gas getter involved a 6-way 207-6. This is what it looks like when it's packaged. You got the connector to your air supply, goes through the venturi, which takes that 65 psi of air, and I connect it into what I call a foam tee. Let's see if I got that turned off. Oh, no, never mind. We'll take this way. We'll do this. Put it into a foam tee. This protects any juices coming back down these lines and keeps them away from this thing here. This is the vacuum generator. Again, a venturi. Runs 65 psi of compressed air through it, and it produces a powerful vacuum. The only caveat about this thing is you've got to keep it fairly clean. That just makes sense. If you're running air over something over some holes to get it to operate, you can't plug up those holes. So hot water will handle it just fine. I don't like to put some soaps and things in it just because it'll build up a certain amount of residue, and I think the cleaner those holes are, the better. So there you had a 6-way with 6 lines, and that's what we demonstrated a moment ago. I'm going to go backwards here. Again, that was with a vacuum retainer. This thing here, I could control how much vacuum was going into my carboy during that first moment or so. If one of your carboys really foams up real hard, you can just turn the vacuum down for a minute or so, turn it back on, let her go. Take a look at the rate that the bubbles are coming out of your wine 3, 4, 5 minutes in. When that rate significantly slows down, you've taken your wine from a supersaturated solution to a saturated solution. In other words, you still want 500 milligrams of gas in the wine, and that happens right. I got lucky when I told my customers this early, and we've tested it. When those bubbles significantly slow down, you are in that 500 milligrams per liter range. That's something that you cannot tell when you use a whip and a drill. So next, down we go to this next smaller size. Again, here is a -4, and it's got a 4-way manifold. I supply plugs with you, anything 1 through 4. If you're going to do 2, well, you plug up two ports and run the thing. Same way as you did the 6. I don't think I need to explain anything more there. And now the ones that have become really popular are my -1s. And let's see. Okay, this is going to be the -1 without the vacuum retainer. Vacuum retainer, I don't like processing my wine without the valve, but you don't have to have the valve to do it. It's a $25 item, and this thing here should have a rubber stopper on it. This rubber stopper goes to the one jug that you're doing, and there you go. If you're going to have the vacuum retainer on it, it's just as simple. Just as simple, not hard at all. And there you are, the 205 or 207-1 with the vacuum retainer. And I kind of recommend that, again, that vacuum retainer. It's something that just gives you a little bit more control, and you're a little bit more confident. Now, a couple of things. Every now and then, I'll get a customer whose source of air is not close by. He's either down in the basement or out in the garage or outside, and it's not convenient for him to go back and forth to the air compressor to turn it on. So we replace this connector with a valve that looks like the vacuum retainer, same valve. push that in, connect it to your air source, and you can turn your air on and off right at the carboy, or at the area that you're degassing. It really works nice. Mostly sold to my guys that's in the U-venting business. And again, I'm going to repeat, U-venters are the guys who do this professionally, mostly in Canada. I've got a half a dozen guys here in the States that are doing it. They're making wine for other people and going from the very beginning all the way through to the point where it's bottled. If they want to do multiples of 6, in other words, here you got a 6-way. You got a 6-way, and you want to do up to 12. Well, the thing there is that this, hello, I can plug this in here. I can run another 3 lines through there, through a 6-way manifold, and do up to 24 of them at a time. In other words, and again, if I don't want to use all 4 holes, I can plug up 2 of them, so you can do up to 12 at a time, or 6 and do it for 1, or 18, or however. So that kind of gives you an idea of what we are selling for different products. Again, I didn't show you this 2-way. Works the same as the 4-way for some fellow that knows he's never ever going to want to do more than 12 carboys at a time. This is just a 2-way that will connect up to a -6. So that's pretty much for the gas getter. Now, I'll give you an idea, something that we're working on, and I've been told that we can do this just in the last couple of days, so I don't have the piece of equipment here that I want. But here's what we've got if you want to use the gas getter as a pump, to pump your wine from one carboy to another. Again, the guys who have their well, they don't want to be fooling around with the weight, and it's kind of fun to watch anyhow. But anyhow, we connect up the vacuum generating unit to the air, and we put this unit, 2 holes in it, into the empty bottle that we want to move the wine to. We put this line over here to the wine source. We turn on the vacuum retainer and introduce a vacuum into the empty jar. And that vacuum will come right over there, down through this line, and eventually fill the thing up. Now, what I don't like about this is the speed, because of the small size of the lines. And this size line is okay, but the one that's actually moving the juice, we want something the bigger the diameter, the faster it's going to flow. So I would like to be able to fill a carboy from one to the other in, 8-10 minutes, something like this. I think when I tested this one, it took me 11 minutes. It just seemed like it took forever and a day to do. But if I increase the size of the line that's coming from the source, I don't think there's any problem at all in really stepping up the time. Perhaps less than 8 minutes, maybe 5 or something. It's just time will tell. But the source for this 2-piece stopper told me day before yesterday that he would have something for me to experiment with, and it's just something I have to check. But don't be afraid to call, find out, hey, how are you doing with your pump, if you're interested. And by that time I'll have a cost, and I'll probably going to be less than $20 for this much for this thing here. And then it's just a matter of connecting into your gas getter vacuum generator if you've got it. So that's pretty much, that's just one of the things that we're playing with. There are other things that we're playing with. We're quite serious. I'm going to just drop a new word for winemakers. It's called nucleation. We think for the big boys, the guys who are doing 1,000 carboys or something like this, that we can reduce their degassing time by about a third of whatever it's taking them to do it now. I think they can safely take a third off. But again, we're pretty sure the thing's going to work, but we are also in the developmental stage, and then we haven't done it with a lot of carboys, but we have done it with several dozen, and we like what we see. So that's something. Don't think the hobbyist needs to do that. In fact, the hobbyist really needs to see those bubbles slow down, and the bubbles just don't slow down when you're using these nucleation devices. So you'll never know when you're at the 500 milligrams per liter range or you've taken too much out. So